So again, there are designated procedures and protocols that you really need to be familiar with when you get involved in U.S. immigration law. And it's changing and expanding all the time. One of the visas I'm briefly going to highlight here is the E1 or E1 and E2 investment visas. These have been great vehicles for people from designated foreign countries that have treaties with the U.S. to engage in trade or investment. These visas can be issued for 5 years and can be renewed without limit. In some cases, foreign nationals can convert to green cards if they're multinational executives and managers. Some of the treaty countries include the UK, Japan, China, Italy, Spain, Argentina, Germany, Austria, Canada, but does not include Russia, India, or China. Unfortunately, if there were, we'd be even busier. Israel has been approved for the E2 investment. They currently are on the E1 investment, but so far the ministries in Israel have not fully approved it. Another popular visa is the L1 intracompany transfer. Allows foreign nationals as executives, managers, or specialized knowledge to come to the U.S. on a transfer. It's much easier for large companies, very challenging for smaller startup companies. Immigration will only give a one-year visa. It's very hard to get renewed, though. That's the challenge. I recently met with someone from Israel with actually a qualifying nationality, who was able to get, who was on an L1 visa rather, and when I explained that he can only stay for 1 year and that extension is going to be very difficult, a lot of foreign nationals are just not aware how difficult it is to extend those visas. Immigration wants to see the U.S. company ramp it up very quickly, create jobs, create profits. Very hard to do within 1 year for any startup. And this gentleman I spoke with the other day is now considering other options. The L1 visa has been great, though, for larger companies. The most common working visa is the H1. You all hear about the H1 visa. It's the basic working visa. It's the workhorse for foreign nationals coming to the U.S. The annual cap is $65,000 plus additional $20,000 with U.S. masters. Bringing the number up to 85,000 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. When you consider the large number of U.S. companies that use the H1, particularly in the tech industry, we're now involved in the H1 race or crunch. H1s have to be submitted from the beginning of April, from April 2nd to April 6th. And this is, it's sort of like our Christmas season in immigration, if you will. It's when we see the greatest uptick in demand for U.S. visas. And it requires a U.S. company essentially to sponsor a foreign national who has at least a degree equivalent to a bachelor's degree, U.S. bachelor's degree. H1s can be either part-time or full-time. And the H1 essentially is the platform for foreign nationals to start off here. Usually they've been here as students, and from their F1 student visa, they get 1 year or more of what's known as practical training, higher if they're in science, technology, math, known as STEM. But usually from the practical training, the foreign national will want to go to the H1 visa. And that's the normal progression. And from the H1 visa, they then want to be sponsored by the U.S. company for permanent residence through what's called the labor certification process. And that means showing that there are no qualified U.S. workers for a particular job. I'll go into that briefly.